Peter Parker. Oh no, editor, put up the Peter Parker I'm talking about. I feel like in the next Spider-Man movie, he will die. And in this video, my I'll explain my reasoning for why I think that. The B in his name stands for Benjamin, which is after his late uncle, Uncle Ben, which we know he died, as in the other Spider-Man movies you see that as well. And you might be seeing a title and you're like, what? How does Peter B. Parker die? And I'll explain everything. So basically, we know that Peter Parker from Miles' dimension was killed by Kingpin, which technically it is Miles' fault because he somehow find a way to get into the room. And yeah, and I'm gonna talk about Prowler Miles in another video, but in this clip that's playing on the screen, Miles' spider sense is, his spider sense is green and purple, which it slowly goes to blue and red, symbolizing that he'll be Spider-Man, and not the Prowler, which he was supposed to be, because the spider that bitten was from the wrong dimension, and we get more knowledge about this in Across the Spider-Verse. Miles isn't even supposed to be Spider-Man because in the Spot's origin story, the animation that it shows, like the black and white kind of animation, if you actually zoom in and pause one of the scenes, you can see Miles from Earth 42 about to get bitten when the experiment they ran on the dimension, the experiment they ran, it actually took the spider out and then it got it here. And that's basically why Miles is in Spider-Man on Earth 42. Okay, here's the reason why I think Peter B. Parker is going to die. So we all know that the Peter Parker in Miles' dimension was the only Spider-Man until he got bitten by the wrong spider that got teleported to his dimension in an experiment with the Spot and Dr. Octavia. And yeah, and basically the reason why I think Peter B. Parker is going to die was because we all know in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it's Miguel talks to Miles about canon events and that the captain of police force is going to die in 2 days, which is his dad, so he wants to rush and change it so that he doesn't lose his dad. But the reason why I think Peter B. Parker is going to die is because I feel like Miles is going to be so focused on saving his dad that he won't save Peter Parker. And we know that the Spot is very upset and he'll do anything it takes to make Miles unhappy the same way he did, even though Miles didn't even do it on purpose, and it was actually Dr. Octavius and his fault as well, because they could have just killed the spider but it escaped. And yeah, looks up to him, and Peter B. Parker actually trains Miles in the first movie, if you remember all the scenes he has. And Miles actually inspired Peter to have his own kid, so they have a really good bond in both movies. But Miles thinks that Peter's watch was on, his location was on purpose. So that's why Miles was upset at Peter, even though Peter didn't intend for this and he was just trying to keep Miles safe and explain everything that's going on. There's also a theory going around that Miles' mom could die, and this does make sense because Miles' mom does die in the comics. Peter B. Parker's death would make a lot of sense, because if you think about it, it'd be a whole full circle, because the story started with him meeting Spider-Man and then him dying, and then the story would end with him meeting Spider-Man and him dying. Even though Miles disrupted the canon, with May Day not even supposed to be a real thing, and Peter's life just being bad as a canon event in itself, Miles changed Peter's life for the better. He just made his life great because he inspired him to have kids, get back with Mary Jane, and even have a kid of his own that he wants to be just like Miles, from how good of a person he thinks Miles is, which he is. And it's just, that's the good part of the story that will be introduced in the next movie, Beyond the Spider-Verse, which probably might get delayed. I really don't want it to get delayed, but it probably will get delayed because art and just peak cinema needs time to just really, get the scripts out, just work. If they work on it and make it as best as I can, then I promise it's probably going to be the best comic book trilogy ever. I genuinely feel like that if this was the case of how it ends, that it would make sense with everything just being full circle, you know, everything just having the climax and then an end with Peter dying, and then Spot being defeated. That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys want to comment down below on what you think about this theory, and feel free to. I will respond to your comments in at least a day. And also please subscribe, because I noticed a lot of you have been viewing my video about the theater reaction. So if you guys could subscribe, that would mean a lot. I'm really trying to get to 1K by Christmas. And if I ever get to 10K on the channel, then I will do a face review. Yes, that's right, a face review. And if you guys want to see another theater reaction for TMNT Mutant Mayhem, then I'll do it. Like 10 likes and I'll make a video about that. I'm so excited to see this movie. It has the same like animation style as Spider-Verse, and I feel like it's gonna be so cool, and the choppy animation low-key works, and I just cannot wait to see it. I've been waiting months, ever since the trailer got released. It's just such a cool movie, and of course, yep, it's set in New York. I don't know why so many animated movies are set in New York. Literally, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is set in New York. Both movies are. Like, I don't understand what New York... Like, I don't understand why New York is in so many movies. It's kinda cool. Alright, that's gonna be the end of this video. I'm still working on the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review. So watch out for that. It should come out, like, in 2 weeks or less. I don't know. It's taken a long time for me to edit it. It's gonna be a long video, but not longer than the Spider-Man video. And yeah, that's all I have to say, and goodbye.